Hello everyone, this is our first official episode of 6873 After Dark, where we tread into the realm of the unknown of paganism, occultism, and much more. I do advise viewer discretion is necessary, but I do hope you enjoy this video. I'll see you in the next one. Tatty bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the new year. Welcome back to 6873 Show. We are so glad to be here with you, and we're looking forward to a brand new year of exciting new subjects. We're actually going to be starting off our show this week with a new segment of the show called 6873 After Dark, Paranormal Activities and Other Spooky Stuff. So please join us. I think you're going to love this show. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments down below because we want to hear from you. Ultimately, this is going to be your guys' show. So we also want to give a quick shout out to some of our Patreons and also some of our biggest fans. Brave Wolf, thank you for staying with us. We love you and cannot wait to see you on the show.
Yes, please hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Get your ass on the show.
I'm thinking about you, man.
Yes.
Nana, Banana, Felix, a lot of our Patreons, thank you so much. We cannot do this without you. So anyway, stay tuned. I think we've got a really exciting show this week. My name is Captain Wren. The other hosts of the show, of course, are...
I'm Rossi, and we have...
Ion, and over here...
We have, as always, Tookie. And today we are joined by our very own Fistic Field. And a guest that you might not have seen before, Erebus. So, like we said, we had a pilot episode of the 6873 After Dark. It was a little project tried out. But this time, yes, it's the same title, but it's gonna be a whole different thing.
Yeah, the pilot episode was my own cock-up. It turned into an episode of Big Brother.
Watch the
It was a lot of fun.
profanity.
Just for, like, letting you guys know, it's gonna be a little bit about everything, the occult, ghost stories, true events that happen, murder mysteries, and everything in between.
Yes.
We have wanted to do this for some time now, and it finally happened. Yay.
We had some of the deep, dark
today-
mysteries like
Don't
where your
forget
socks go.
unsolved mysteries.
Unsolved mysteries,
You know
yes.
where one of your socks is? It's under your bed crusting like hell.
Oh, dear.
What?
Yeah, it's starting to crawl away now. That's a bad thing.
I
think I got lost in translation.
I've ever broken eye on.
No, the fungus has actually created its own life form and scurried away.
Yeah, but you know, when you put it on now, it's all nice and warm.
I think I got lost in translation.
I think with the crustiness, you'll probably get a bit of chafing going on.
Yeah, it's all
Okay,
nice and
can we
warm.
please cut it out? Cut it out.
Enough.
I swear to God,
I tell you what,
I'm
I am
surrounded by
notching that
imbeciles.
score because I think that is the very first time I've ever broken eye on.
Yes.
You don't
Usually
shut
it's
up, I'm
Rosie
gonna
that
break
breaks.
you.
Kinky.
We found Heald's thing.
Yep, he likes crusty socks.
I'll stick that crusty
See, now
stock
you
up your
done
ass.
it. Now you done it.
We broke
Now
it
we're not
all,
gonna
man.
move forward from here. Now we're
Okay,
not gonna
enough.
go anywhere.
Enough.
We need to let this man live.
Moving on.
I'm good.
As I was trying to say, in this episode, it's gonna actually be a special one. Yes, it is our first episode like this. It's also gonna be a first, at least for me, when it comes to the occult and how can you say witchcraft without being
You
like
can say witchcraft,
an ass?
paganism. It's
Okay.
all an umbrella.
Wizardry, heathenism, fanaticism.
So
There's all kinds of shit.
Erebus, If you want to
Lots of
introduce
isms.
yourself first, quickly. Just
So,
tell
yeah, my name
yours.
is Erebus, and I am a witch. I follow the Wiccan path. I also believe my religion is mainly based on paganism, which is a nature-based religion. It's not involved in any devil worship or anything like that. So please be more respectful in the comments when we're talking about our spiritual things. So it's kind of a big thing for us all.
Well, you know, there was one of our shows back. We actually did do a show on paganisms and stuff like that, and it was a really nice show. It was actually led by I am Computer, which actually leads a group in VR. It's a meet and greet. They actually do rituals in VR, and our feedback from that was actually really interesting. The thing is, we have an amazing watcher group. Thank you so much. So
Yes, all potato chips
we're
out
all
there.
here to learn, explore, and kind of find out who we are.
Before we begin with like everything that we have prepared for tonight, I'm a bit chilled, but I think it's gonna be okay. At least I hope I'm not going home with something haunting me.
No,
But
that's
before we
episode 2.
shut up.
That's Ion that's going to be haunting you, but you're going to enjoy that kind of haunting.
And there comes the
What is the show without Toki pulling out the scythe on her very own fish stick? But I've learned my lesson. I'm sitting over here out of range.
I can stand up.
Turn the some seats.
I give you 3 guesses to my answer.
Are you done? Thank you. Okay, I really feel like we should start the whole episode over because this is just gonna be laughter and a lot of shit.
I think it's good.
It's good.
Oh, being mean.
It's
The
all
show
shits
must
and
go
giggles, so someone
on.
giggles and shits.
Exactly.
See? Ion just giggled that we shitted.
It's Ion's turn.
I'm so... That was a perfect line. I love you. I love you so much.
That's all.
It sounds like someone's in
I love you
bollocks.
He's a squeaker.
He's a squeaker.
That's
That's
just retracted.
adorable.
Alright.
Okay, Weezer.
Alright, let's get the ball rolling.
Yes.
Toki, you were saying.
Yes, let's
Oh.
continue.
Yes.
I don't know if you're interested because did you have your little keyboard
We are
party?
interested. It's just we've got to make people laugh. We love making people
You
laugh.
have a lot of editing to do. You have a lot
I
of
do.
editing to do. Yeah.
We still need to have that paper
Okay.
reel.
We do.
Starting. Is there anything you guys want to ask before we venture into this, if you may call it, experiment that Erebus is going to try help me with?
Yes.
Well, I think
Will
Sorry.
this come to affect her in any way after this recording or have it in the future of what will happen?
The thing is sometimes things are uncertain. But what I'm going to do is it's going to mainly affect me instead of Toki. So I'm literally going to open myself up. But I need to do it in a way that I need to be careful how much I'm opening up. Because if I open up too much, then I can run the risk of being pulled back and the whole thing has to get cut out until I can get myself back. Because it's a battle. It's a battle of wills. So if this entity's will stronger than mine, then I probably may not return for a while until I build up that strength and that spiritual strength for myself to push it back out. That's why I need to take some precautions. And luckily, as I said earlier to Toki in another world, one of them has returned. So hopefully
Hmm.
they'll be able to help out because they're my guardian and they'll be able to pull it out. It's going to be painful, but it's like ripping off a plaster.
Hmm.
Ah, that's bad.
What he's referring to is that, like he said, he has guardians. Like he has multiple guardians, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
But they shall not be named. No.
One thing I was curious too for some of our viewers and that might be new to the subject and stuff. You said that you're a practicing pagan stuff like that. What exactly is a pagan, and how does a magic using stuff like that reflect to the pagan lifestyle and religion? And
Well,
would you actually call it
paganism
religion
has-
or?
Oh, it is nationally recognized as a religion. It's
Okay.
a very, very old religion. This religion,
Yeah, doesn't it stretch back to
paganism
the
was-
old Nordic days?
even further, even way
Yeah, I
further.
thought so.
Yeah.
What paganism is really means that is two. So, a paganism is someone. Well, a pagan is back in the old version of the meaning. It means a wanderer, a person who just literally walks around in the countryside and takes in the view and everything. But what it really means, paganism really means, is like we see the deity in nature. So we see that there is like some people believe in wood sprites. Some people believe in normal sprites, fairies. The main religion deities is the Green Man, which is
Mm.
the male version. He is the guardian of the forests and the guardian of the animals. You may see him about in some places where it's like covered his, like you see a man's face in the leaves. That's called the Green Man.
Mm.
You may see him going to churches sometime because. Now, I do apologise for this. Some churches were built on our worship grounds and was built by some pagans. And what they did was to mark it was a worship ground for all. In this building, in a church, they would mark out the Green Man somewhere. And if you find him, you know it was built by the pagans because
Mm.
he was forced to. So paganism
That's
is just
quite interesting.
nature worship.
Mm.
That's all it is. Nature
Mhm.
worship. We see the deity. So we got the moon goddess Luna, which then transcribes
Mhm.
into the maiden, mother, and crone, which is the three
Mhm.
faces. So it all comes back together, all comes through. It's purely peace loving, purely
Mhm.
open. We're always respectful to other people. We try to help other people, like I'm going to do with Toki. Always listen to other people. It always teaches us that we ourselves come from nature ourselves. We are mammals. We eat like other people do. We like eat all like other animals do. We eat other animals, we eat
Mhm.
vegetables, so we're all a bit of both. We came from nature. We are part of nature. And the thing is about it is that we're always going through that cycle. So it teaches us that we can never be stuck. We're always going to be evolving. We're always going to be changing. We can never be stuck in the past. You have to keep moving forward, striving to be better, to be more improved.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So I know that we talked about also something a little bit funny. I guess you were a bit surprised about it. When we talk about star signs and Chinese star signs, for those who might be interested, I'm a Taurus, but in the Chinese star sign, I'm also an ox, which I believe are a rarity. Sometimes,
It's a
at
very
least,
rare sometimes.
because we talked about that too, and I was like, hey, no wonder I butt heads with myself so much. I'm apparently
Chinese star sign,
very
that's the year you were
stubborn,
born,
and I'm
isn't it?
too stubborn for my own good. I'm my own worst enemy. Yay. Ain't that fun?
You know, I'd like
Let's
to.
keep
I'd
life
like to
interesting.
dig about more about mine. I'd like to dig
But the
about
thing
that.
is,
Maybe I'm a
what's-
different you.
Do you know your star sign?
I'm an Aquarius, and Chinese and was the year of the rat.
I think.
And
Well,
I've never
I'm
seen a rat water
also.
carrier.
Yeah. Well, I'm also an Aquarius, and I think the year of the snake,
Yeah.
which is an interesting one.
No, what?
I'm just
Yes,
confused.
it was. I think it was the snake.
All I know is that
Libra
I'm
dog.
a Leo and I'm a lion.
Libra.
No wonder you're always humping my
Yeah,
leg
the
then.
lion.
I'm a
Okay.
Libra.
So star
you're the
signs.
dog.
Yeah, we could take that
Nice.
a different time. So to give you guys a bit of information before you think, what are they up to? When I was younger and I lived
We're crazy.
alone,
Sorry.
thank you.
We are crazy.
When I was younger and lived alone, I fell asleep on my couch in my living room. All lights was turned off, and the only light that came was from the outside street lamps that came in through the window. And I turn around on the couch so my head faces the window, and I see like something big, black, like shadow kind of thing. And I don't pay attention to it. It's like I'm half awake, half sleeping. All of a sudden, this shadow turns around and it looks like a broad-shouldered man. And I just hear that voice saying, "Oh, so you're still here?" None threatening or anything, but of course I panic. I sit up immediately. I woke up in an instant, turned on the light, and there was nobody there. But I still had that feeling that someone was looking. Someone was keeping an eye on me. And this also happened the same place because we lived in an old farmhouse that was built into was it 4 apartments? So my living room wall and my best friend's living room wall was up against each other, and she had a staircase to go upstairs. And one day I just hear somebody stomping up and down these stairs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's trying to exercise or something? So I call her up on the phone and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're stomping like an elephant. Oh, that was not nice of me to say, but I literally said that. And she's like, but I'm not even home. I'm at work or something like that. I'm like, okay. And she has a dog. It was a coffee table dog. It was a big dog. And I said, well, your dog is definitely running up and down the stairs then. She's like, my dog is at my mom's house. And I just got quiet. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, I'll just call you later. Bye. And I hung up and I'm like, did somebody break in? But there was no one there. No one at all. I was
Oh, wow.
scared shitless.
I've actually had experiences like that myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And
honey,
if
was
I
it
may.
on the same?
Was it what?
Was it on the same day that you saw the shadow?
I think it was a week between them. It was very close.
This
at
was
least.
a persistent, ongoing event then.
Mm-hmm. And I also been very tormented when I was younger. I always dreamt about somebody that I need to catch or look for or fight. But I never saw this person's face. And it was always like a male figure. Again, turning back to that male. And one time I almost caught him and I saw his face. He slips away, run out through a door. I enter a little tea kitchen trying to run after him, and in the sink is the mask or the face of that person. And it's been
Damn.
going through that all the time. It's like a male every time. But I don't know who it is. And I don't know who the shadow is. And I am actually very interested in this. And that's why I talked to Erebus and he agreed that we could try.
Well,
So
I'll just
maybe
kind
figure
of
it
check
out.
my 2 cents. It actually sounds like there is very, very rare cases of people experiencing nightmares from a past life. This could be similar.
Well, I'm also
But
See,
the
kind of
this is
wondering
situation is
too.
always different. The situation is always different. It's never the same dream. Except for
This
that
entity that
dissociation there.
this entity
That's the
that
thing that
you
we're gonna
have
do.
these events with, do you feel any like rapport with it? Like, do you feel like it might be like a past family member, a completely new person in your life, or
Totally different person. I don't even. There is no resemblance to anyone. All I know is that I need to catch this person because he's gonna hurt someone.
You don't feel
That's
like
all
there's
I
any
know.
kind of like personal connection to the person, to the character.
Not at all. Not at
Oh.
all. That's why I'm also confused.
yeah, sounds like almost like a prior haunting too. Something that's been in that place before you guys moved in there.
I mean, we
That could
tried
be
to
the
check
original
out
property owner.
We checked out the history, and the farmhouse is not that old. It used to be an old man living there, and he had 2 maids, 2 younger girls. They're tending to his needs, like cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. But nobody has died on that property. But of course, I don't know what
That
there
you
was
know of.
before all that. That I know of. Well, not in our local history books. There's nobody. Because all deaths are accounted for in the church books. And we're not that big.
There's another thing
Sometimes it
too.
doesn't
Just
actually involve. It's like
go ahead.
sorry, Ren. It's like sometimes it doesn't have always had to be a death in a house. I could like move, say, to Australia, for example. I could leave some like an attachment to a place I lived for like over like 25 years in a house, hide it somewhere in a house, and it'd be like an anchor, like a beacon. So if that person does pass on, it'll pull them back there. It's a familiar place that they're going back to. It's not always going to be actually at a dine out place. It can be
The
something
original
that's actually
home.
in that house, like a totem.
yeah,
Could
something
be like
that,
an
Yeah,
old
because
family, like you said.
You stay
yeah,
Because
in
that
the
person has an
minute
affinity with.
Yeah, but as soon as I moved from that house, everything stopped. Everything from my childhood till that point stopped. And I didn't live there my childhood. I lived multiple places. But it stopped as soon as I moved from that house.
Then it does sound like it's more localized to the house. Then it might be something holding it there, probably a semblance of attachment or something. Probably something must have happened there.
Here's the better question. Were the other people living there religious?
Not at all.
Not at all? Because
Did it-
that kind of sounds like a demonic spirit.
It wasn't
Causing
somebody who
ish-
was trying to harm me. It was
Yes.
more like trying to tease or like just tell I am here. Be
Yeah.
aware of my presence.
Some spirits do like to linger around and talk to you, harass you, throw things at you, or just notify them that they're there.
Actually, now you say it. When we were younger, we were about to move to a different place. My mom had these porcelain kind of figures hanging on the wall. And where we were sleeping was a big, thick mattress. And we had also very, very thick carpet. All of a sudden, we heard a bang in the middle of the night. And we're like, oh my God, what the hell happened? That seagull kind of figure, it was here. Our bed, it was here. It landed all the way over there. Didn't break, but you still heard the thud. Like the really, really hard thud.
That is a semi-poltergeist situation. If the item was not damaged at all, especially from one side of the room to the other, that was just a saying of, hey, we're here.
Mhm. Well,
Which
even
you know,
to
I
this
had a-
day where I
same-
live now, one time, like in the middle of the night, you can just hear my dog yelp. Or in the middle of the day, and my mom and I joke around and we say, "Listen, you guys, you're allowed to be here, but leave the dog alone." And then there could go months, and all of a sudden you hear her yelp again like she got kicked. I have unwanted guests, I think.
Well, I had a similar experience in a kind of an unusual way too. So, I used to travel around a lot, so I would live in RVs quite a bit. And I had purchased this one 32-foot travel trailer to move around with. And almost the first day that I got it, I never sensed anything malevolent about this spirit. I never sensed anything bad from it. In fact, quite the opposite. It's just for some reason that spirit had an affinity with this trailer and didn't want to leave it. And so it had a back bedroom, and I would literally at night hear him walking up and down the front room all the time. And I don't know why at midnight every night, because I slept with the bedroom door closed, he would come over and knock 3 times. And I was never scared with him. Like I said, I had never had any reason to be. I mean, occasionally I'd have like cupboard doors open, stuff like that, and things would be moved about. But I never had a feeling of anything harm coming from him. He just wanted to
Unwelcome.
say that, he just wanted to say that I'm here, and acknowledge that I'm here. And of course, I started, every night when he would knock on the door, I would say, I just didn't know his name or anything like that. I just started calling him Oscar. I thought it was a cute name. So every night, when he knocked, I said, "Everything's okay, Oscar. You're okay. You're okay to be here. I hear that you're here. Everything's okay." And he would be quiet for the rest of the night. But it was,
I had a
and
similar-
Sounds
then
more like a
after,
tormented soul.
yeah. But the funny thing is after about 4 months of me living in it, he just never showed up again.
Either that or he was shit
that's
scared.
like
He
when-
Who
made
the hell's
peace.
Oscar?
But even when family members pass away,
My name's
like
Archibald.
my great grandmother, when she passed away, it was a week after? I woke up by and this is gonna sound totally made up, but this is how I remember it. I woke up to like some shining lights in my hallway coming toward my room, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is this? What it is?" And my great grandmother shows up. She tucked me in, literally my arms down my side, and then the duvet around me, and then she says, "Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. I'll watch out for you." And then she just walked out the door again. And when I woke up, I couldn't move because my arms was inside the duvet and it was tucked around me. Even my grandfather, he said goodbye, but it was more like his way of doing it. He was always like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, can you just shut up? I want to watch TV." That was the last thing he said in that dream I had. We were walking around in the living room in the t-shirt and underwear, like swearing at people. So that was a fun goodbye for me, at least, even though he was mad. But that's I always see butterflies when they're about to go away. White butterflies. When my grandfather's sister visited us the last time, I told my mom, "Look, Grandpa is getting her home." Because two white butterflies flew over her head, my grandfather's sister, and a week later she was gone of colon cancer. So we knew that was our last goodbye with her, and yeah, white butterflies are a sign of either somebody's watching out for us or we're coming for you.
Time to come home.
Now
Or guardian spirits.
You know I've had the same experience, honey. with
Mhm.
my cousin Matthew. Nobody knew he was dead until like 2 days later. He was in a car crash. The car rolled about 25 times into a field. Wheat field, to be precise, which is why they couldn't find the car. He was completely dismembered, and all I could remember was hearing him say, "Chug the fucking beer." I'm like, that's an odd last words to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over, and all I could see was just him standing over me whenever I was like 13, and we were at his graduation party. He was inside the same clothing. The exact same clothing that he wore on his graduation, trying to hand me a damn beer. And this was at 12 o'clock at night in a house that we've owned for the past 30 years until we finally sold it. I still remember the address. I still remember where he was standing. And every once in a while, I do go up to the property and stand there. Because that was our family home. That's where we mostly lived our entire lives. His ashes are with us, but there's always a little piece of him sitting there because that's where the car is sitting at now. He is attached to the vehicle. We've planned on bringing it out here to where we live at now, but due to funds, we really can't. I've actually been trying to find parts for it to restore it and drive it around. Because I know I have a little piece of him with.
Okay.
And the butterflies. Yellow butterflies. Every morning before I go to work, even with this new job I just got, I look out in the backyard, there's always two.
Hmm.
Every morning. It's like they're saying their good mornings and saying their good nights.
Sounds like he's been reunited with someone that he loved most.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
That's a whole nother story too, the other one.
Well, there was one experience that I had growing up as a child. We had got this old house. It was over 100 years old house in Farmington, and had a very interesting history. And it had a haunting in there, but it was not by a good spirit at all. It made itself presence known on many occasions. Everyone in the family knew it was there, and everyone in the family was actually kind of tortured. I remember one time walking alone into the living room, and all of a sudden having the entire living room rain spiders, and which was interesting. It would make itself appear to walk through the halls at night, and everyone could see it. My grandfather even tried to do like an exorcism, try to cleanse the house and stuff. But this was a very, very, very bad spirit, and we never actually got out of there. Got it gone until we actually left the house. But I was kind of wondering from Erebus, from your point or perspective and stuff like that, for let's say someone has a haunting like this of someone that's less than desirable, has malicious intents, what would be a good thing for an average person to do to maybe protect themselves against spirits like that?
I'd say a seasoned witch or a seasoned exorcist will tell you that sometimes there is no good way. The only things we can do is maybe limit it or provide self-protection. There are some times in some cases where, yes, sometimes, very rarely, it can be exercised or it can be trapped within a vessel. So say like you got like a jar, it's an empty jar, you can put some stuff in there and try and trap it, but we need a proper seasoned witch who knows how to deal with the spiritualism, to deal with the spirits, because it's interesting to hear about all this, all your stories about having encounters with different spirits, and probably the viewers might
Mhm.
have some stories about it as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what we learn about even the occult would tell you that you have to be wary of any entity that you come across, even if it's a haunting, a passing visit, probably like an old relative, because you never know what it truly is. You get taught the
Exactly.
tools to find out what it is, but it can always disguise itself. It'll give you off that feeling that, oh, I'm a good spirit, you're safe around me, I'm not going to harm you. And probably like 2 months, 3 months down the line, it starts turning on you. You start getting scratches, you start getting marks, you have bad dreams, it'll throw things, go into tantrum, stuff like that. There are very rare good spirits. Like sometimes a good example is a child spirit. Because it's so pure of innocence, it's like if it lost its life like a very early age and it just lost it suddenly. It just happened. But it hasn't realized. Then yes, it's going to be a very good playful spirit. But sometimes what other entities would do, like very demonic spirits, they like to portray that they're like a spirit of a child because it makes people easier to trust it and then be more open to it. And then that's when the things start occurring, that things start attacks start. There are one case where there is another show that I do watch, and it's called Mindseed TV. They do paranormal investigations, they do dark web and stuff like that. And they did a one in a hunting lodge, a supernatural, and it said that it must be used many times by hunters, and one of them passed away there. And near the end of the video, when it was upstairs on the landing, 2 members were going down, and one with the bald head, he was one of my favourite ones. You see him suddenly, he gets pushed over, and he sees legs get pulled up and dragged 10 feet back. And you can literally see on his face of pure terror. He was white and sick. Like, he didn't know what was happened. He didn't know where he was at the point of time because something happened. He can't explain it. And he's just so in full panic mode. He's like, I don't know what to do. And nothing happened in all that while. Nothing. No evidence that proves like there's no captures of like EVPs. They might get a few spikes on EMFs, but that's what they did. Even they said sometimes it just happens just like that. You may get like 2 hours of nothing, and then 1 second you get one insane, massive something. That's the problem with spirits and demonics to this day because they know what they're doing. They can change their form. They can entice you, and that's the same with trickster demons, like we talked about a few weeks back, wasn't it? You never know what it truly is until you get someone to actually investigate it. And I've been taught some of the skills because I study part of the occults. I know how to protect myself, get things done, and open myself up, thanks to someone back in my past who then did something very bad because, like we all know, like with stories, I got a few of my own as well. But actually, viewers at home, if you do have suspicions of hauntings, don't try and deal with it yourself. Do not in any way react to it in a fearful manner. If you see something sliding across the table, shrug it off. Just go, okay. Because you're saying, okay. You're saying that you're there. That's fine. You can move shit about. But if you act it when it scares you, like if it slams a door in your face when it goes into a room, don't jump to a certain extent. Don't react like, oh my God. Just stay calm in that moment because the more you fear it, the more power it's going to get, the more it's going to feed off you. And that's when it starts doing its progression. And that's when you're putting yourself in danger because then it once gets in your head, it gets more difficult to get it out. So always find someone in like your area who knows about spirits or demons or demonics. Like there are some witch areas in some parts of USA. I don't know about other countries. I don't know if it's legal in other countries, but if you've got like someone who can help you, or find services, go for it.
Well, you also brought up one subject too. I think it would be probably very important, especially as even some of my experiences. You said as someone who is well trained and stuff like that. Because I think with a lot of the stuff, you should get someone who has put in the time, who has studied, and who actually is a master of this craft. Because there's some people I've known that's like, oh, I want to do this, so I'll go and like YouTube, whatever, and I'll follow along this little itty bitty thing. And they don't know what kind of door they're opening and stuff like that. What is your views and opinions on that? Mine personally is I should say they shouldn't do it unless they actually know what they're doing and actually have put in the time to master some of these skills.
That I also agree on about, like, anything you see on YouTube, like on TikToks, where I see someone playing like a spiritual game like Baby Blue or Yes or No Charlie, that is still opening a doorway. The Yes or No Charlie is like a very simple version of a Ouija board.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that you learn in every single way, to not mess with a Ouija board.
But that's the thing.
I've
I
messed
don't
with a few.
understand. I don't understand because Fisher Price sold Ouija boards as
Yeah, they did.
a children's toy before it
Was that
Literally
understanding?
sold
became
after
all
like 2
this.
months.
They were
And then
pulled
stopped.
after 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's the thing is basically the thing that's described on, because for me, I used to be a professional prognosticator. I used to read tarot and all those other things. Even I won't touch a Ouija board simply because of the engraving on it, what actually gives the Ouija board its power. Because you're literally opening up a doorway and summoning the spirit of Ouija to take over this board.
I messed up. Because I played that
But the thing,
when I was like 15 or 16.
Mhm.
It was a
Oh, honey, you're
homemade
not
one with a
alone.
mirror.
A
No, it was
lot
with a
of
mirror.
people.
And a glass, and we all started like it started to move back and forth, and we were like, "Oh, you're pushing it. Oh, you're pushing it." Yeah, but look at this lamp in the living room. It was like this, swinging back and forth, and we were like, "Okay, we need to say goodbye now." And we got down to goodbye, and we took a lighter and we burned inside the glass and lifted it up to let the spirit go bye bye. I don't think that worked. I'm just saying.
no, that would definitely work because that is literally burning it. Basically, what a Ouija board is, like, this is a good tip for the viewers as well, is the Ouija board, every person thinks, a normal days person's like, it's a one-way thing. It's not, it's a two-way. You're always asking questions. That's why they're asking you the questions to the board. It's not a straight thing you're gonna get, because when someone's opening themselves up to possession, they're doing it on purpose because they know they are be able to protect themselves from the insides and be able to push it out with their willpower in a sense. But with the Ouija board, it has no willpower of its own. It's a tool. And the thing with tool, it's a two-way thing. While a human Ouija board is a little out there, is that they're able to push them out instead. But the Ouija board can't. So we have to act like its will. We have to be able to protect it. So by what you did, where you noticed that something was going wrong, you pushed it down to goodbye. You already completed one of the actual rules. You always say goodbye, especially when things are getting heated. And another one, you did it with other people. So you completed 2 rules. So you're going to be completely fine. But the really thing, what you really sealed the deal, is that you closed it forever because you burnt it. Whatever was come through will get pulled back through because of the fire. It's the cleansing nature of fire. It burns whatever came through or pulls it back through to the other side.
Thank God.
But one thing I've always noticed too, even with a lot of my experience, in fact, it was told me by another practitioner, is, as in special matters, stuff like that, nothing is given for free. There's always give and take.
Price.
And a lot of people don't
Mhm.
realize that. It's just a toy. It's just, I can go talk with a friend on whatever, but they don't understand that it is a commission base between you and whoever they're summoning.
Oh,
know I ain't
I
touching
just had
that
a bad
anyway.
idea.
What?
Ow.
If you stop and think about it, VR chat's like a Ouija board.
Why?
Don't bloody make us paranoid now, because my back just went like a string of firecrackers.
Ouch.
Hmm.
And the spirits are here.
And the spirits.
Yeah, one of them I think just kicked me in the back.
Gnostic.
Even that
that's
now, I've
kind
got a
of thing.
trapped nerve.
So how is VR chat like
Okay.
a Ouija board?
Yeah.
If you think about it, we are an open platform. Anybody can
Mhm.
use this at any age.
Mhm.
We're an open community of people and of different religions and settings.
And plus, there are worlds in here with Ouija boards.
That is true.
Bingo.
Not gonna go
And
there.
this is basically a Ouija board because you have people from everywhere. Different religions.
But you're still not seeking answers from the beyond.
No, because
never
it's unfortunately it's virtual. I've already tested a few virtual things like on like phone apps. You can get Ouija apps. I've already tested it, and that's all algorithm. That's not an actual spirit. That's just all algorithm. Yes, spirits can manipulate to the extent of certain technology, like they can drain the batteries, they can take the energy away from it. But it's very hard to see something actually manipulating an actual device to a point where it knows how to use it. Like very rare cases, like someone would say, like they'll get a phone call, and it'd be like from their granddad who died probably 20 years ago. That's like a very rare case, and that's something that we still don't know about. Even some seasoned investigators, like they don't know how they're able to spirits be able to manipulate and actually speak through it. Yeah, you can speak through radio waves and stuff like that, but to actually navigate it to something that small and to influence it in a way that precisely to make that device do that, it's kind of very struggling. It's going to be very
It
energy consuming.
It is. But there was once a story of a hiker. I remember Ren telling me this. A hiker who went out and he literally was traveling through the woods. He was on a hillside and
Oh, that was
he fell
Healed.
over.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah, that was me
Healed.
that told that story.
Yeah.
Yes. And whenever he was injured, there was another person that died years ago with a cell phone in the cave. But the hiker that was out hiking at that time lost his phone prior to going fully into the woods.
Yeah, they're on the cliffside.
Would that kind of... Yeah. Wouldn't
Actually, I
that
think
be a
I've heard of
heavy
that.
ins-
Actually, I think there was a story. I think there was actually a story about that actually, where a hiker did lose his phone, and apparently the girlfriend of that hiker was still getting phone calls, and she kept hearing her boyfriend saying, please help me, I'm lost, please help me, I've fallen." And then I see it would cut out after
silence.
that. And then and then it keep happening like every so often, every few months, and then it kept happening less and less. And at one time where it did happen again, like very less the time, she actually managed to like, right, you know what, I'm gonna try and find this, because she knows whereabouts he would have gone hiking. And she searched, and she got a few of her friends to help, a few of her family members to help, and they found his phone. And she's like, the phone's dead. It's been dead for a while. And like, how can he still be making phone calls of this if he's dead? And the father of the girlfriend looked over the cliff edge and saw his body on a branch. And he's all
Oh my
mangled.
word.
And he's literally decomposing. And it's like, I need to get my daughter away from this situation because if she sees that, it's going to scar her. So, I did think I heard that story before.
Yep.
Yeah, because the one I hear is that the hiker went over the cliff, had a gash in his head and broke his leg. And the phone call actually went through to a 911 operator. And when they scaled the area, they found human remains in a cave side with a fractured skull and a broken leg. And they found the guy not that far away from it. Only he didn't have a phone, but the remains did. His phone went over the side into the water.
Helping a fellow hiker.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a funny thing
think
about stories is that it's kind of like it's all personal experiences. Like even I say to the users, even say to you, this is going to be a disclaimer from me. The disclaimer is, and treat that as your own discretion, is that everyone's experience between supernatural or spiritualism or the occult is all based on there. It's not always going to be factual. We always get taught that believe not what you hear, but believe what you experience. So it's always down to you, not other people's. You may be able to read it, search it, talk to other people, but at the end of the day, it's down to yourself. So please don't do anything. Do not repeat what I'm about to do. If you don't have any training, you're going to put yourself in a serious amount of danger and physically unhelp your mental health. I've been down that road. Don't go down there, please. Thank you.
So I think without further ado, should we try and start this?
Yes. I think this is going to be
Is
an
there
interesting experiment.
anything you want me
Yes.
to do first, or how do we do this? You guide me.
Right, so first off, I'm going to have to actually talk about some of the risks. The risk is going to
Yes.
be mainly to me because it's going to affect me physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, knowing you and know what you are, you're also an empathic as well. So, I'm going to try and open myself up to you. So, if you sense any danger coming from me, I need you to try and pull it towards you. So, pull the spirit towards you so where I can again bring myself back and then we can both then actually push it away.
Okay.
Another risk is it might not work. Because of some of the things you've been telling me, it sounds like it's more localized. It's not down to a roaming spirit. So just beware of that. And thirdly, the last one is that it can affect you in some form. So just be wary that some stuff might spook you out, wherever you are, but in your bedroom or in your home. Don't go towards that sound. Stay where you are. And put yourself in a protective circle. Surround yourself in the light. Pour some salt around you. Do something that's going to help you ultimately.
Okay.
It's the same with all of you as well. I would say that don't interact with it. Just treat like it's non-existent. Just observe. It's going to be between me and Toki. I don't want to try and latch on to another person, especially when it comes to you, Ion, because if it sees these two have a close bond, it'll be able to notice that and it might be able to try and divide it. Okay? So, Toki, also, if you want to help protect Ion, having him in your mind surrounded by an aura of your aura, like that connection of the chain link. Okay? And I know you're closest to me healed, so if you hear some things, then just try not to get spooked. I don't know if the mic's going to be able to pick it up because sometimes things do happen. So, is there anything that he used to say to you? Anything else? Like did he used to hum, sing, say a few lines?
It was more taunt, like kind of like that.
There is someone that is pulling all of us because remember when I put out on Discord that something was off? All of you fucking felt the same.
More than one occasion.
Like some ways, something, somehow, something was or is happening. Or is about to happen.
Guys, can we focus?
Yeah. So
Someone is here.
some things might, if you've experienced paranormal, like it sounds like you all have, then say a prayer, do something, feel like, cross your fingers, whatever feels like you have that intuition saying, I need to protect myself. Like some people would like sit with their legs crossed with their arms like that to shield themselves. Some people would cross their, like I said, cross their fingers. Some people throw salt over their shoulder. Some people close their eyes and black themselves out to the world. What I'm going to do is, essentially, I'm going to create a rift. Essentially, so it's going to be a link between us two. It is going to be difficult for me because I'm going to be using most of my energy to pull it through.
Mhm.
And because what you said is a shadowy figure, I'm going to have to go to the shadows. And a good thing I can go to the shadows because everyone has a different shadows. So anyone goes to the shadow realm, it's always a different experience. I've overtaken the lead of the shadow realm, so now that shadow realm is mine, which is a good thing because then I can help track it down. I've got others there to help track it down, which I have been doing for the past few days. Like I said, I got a guardian here. He's on standby. I know he's on standby because he's touching my fucking back. Sorry. And it's not a good feeling with either because it's slimy as hell.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's the problem with Mr. B. he's not very hygienic. So
Oh, I see.
anything that the shadow person has said to you, anything, any
Only
music
that.
play.
No, it was purely silence. And always like this taunting, like, you're never gonna catch me. It never really like spoke other than that time where it asked me, oh, well, it literally said, so you're still here. That was it.
Well, if anything, that might help actually, because if it said that to you, then you can use it as like a mantra. So if you want to keep repeating that, I know this may affect you, but it's only going to affect me. So if you want to keep repeating it, and hopefully, if you notice a change, or if you notice a change, give a sort of signal to Tokyo, like give a little wave that you know that that's not Jamie anymore. That's my name. Yes, I said my name. That's not me anymore. Okay. So I'm going to be sitting here quiet. That's because I don't need to say anything. Some people would say things like, probably say like a spell to open themselves up, but me, in pure silence, I let myself go. I learned how to dissociate myself from my body. Thankfully, I'm able to do that with one of the occult rituals that I did with my teacher. So, do you want to begin?
You want to say me to say it out loud?
Yes. But close your eyes and imagine it echoing like a beacon, reaching out to that one person.
You're still here. You're still here. You're still here. You're still. You're still here. You're still here.
I am still here. And so are you.
Yes,
But I can see you.
I can feel you. Why are you still? You're still here.
Blood to blood calls.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. The pain in my neck is going away.
Why did you
Well,
call me?
Like, I want to know what you want from me.
I want nothing from you. You saw me.
Yes. But why?
Because your
Why?
eyes are different. Your eyes can pierce the veil.
Fail. Where are you? Why did you come?
I'm looking.
Are you protecting?
Protecting my daughter. She's lost, and I can't find her.
Do you think I can find her?
There is a connection. I can feel it.
Feel like cream. Is she among you or among me? Is she dead or alive?
She passed. She died.
I don't know if I can see her. I could only see you. We'll look for her. But will you still stay? Or will you go?
I will go. And I'll stay with this one.
You don't need him.
I do. He's got eyes and ears further they can see.
And don't hurt him.
I only want my daughter back. And then I can move on.
If he will accept you, I will let you go. Me to him.
He has.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fucking hell.
Okay.
Yeah, my guard's all soaking wet.
I feel a lot lighter. I know it sounds crazy. Yeah, but yeah.
I need to get
wasn't
my
alone
energy
in there.
drink. I hope this doesn't break me. Yes, it's gonna break me.
It's okay.
Damn it. I can't get my drink.
You
And I
wasn't
need some
alone in
tissue
there.
paper.
So when you had connection with this spirit, what was some of the?
Well,
Did you?
what I felt was
Okay.
it's because I was still inside, but I was still able to hear and see.
He's lost.
What yeah, that's what I got. I got the sense that he's not only is he lost, he's lost something that valuable. He's lost his daughter, and that sadness, that grief he held on to. He died of a broken heart. He's looking for her. She was taken away from at a young age. And I saw, he gave me an image, and she looked like she was 10 years old. And he showed me a memory of his that she was playing on the streets. It was in a driveway, and all of a sudden there's this van, and it was speeding. And she ran out into the road. And
What was her name?
Did he give you a name?
Hmm?
it didn't give me a name.
How about it?
And We both made a deal that I
Sure.
offered him. I said, I will help you find. It's something deeper because he's losing himself. He's losing himself to this grief. And when he's shown these memories, they were fragmented. He's struggling to keep hold of who he is and what he's looking for. That's the only memory he's got of her at the minute. He's not only just lost, he's starting to fade. That's the problem. He's starting to fade in the void itself.
You said that I have different eyes. You
Memories
said I had different eyes.
of his daughters.
No. I could see behind the
You
veil.
have eyes that can see what no one else can. Eyes that have seen death, and therefore can see those that died.
Well, the thing is that what struck me too is the one that he said that you have different eyes that you can pierce the veil. Me and my tradition, piercing the veil and being able to see it, and especially the key word of the living between the dead. We in our tradition we literally call it a veil, and that really struck me right there. Especially having eyes that can pierce the veil, because that is something that we actually see as an actual thing. That that there are people who can pierce the veil and see those who have gone beyond, and that really struck me quite well, simply because that is something that I personally have had experience with, and especially my traditions and stuff like that. That yes, that's exactly how we phrase that.
Yeah, but I would judge when I see it sound there. It sounds like you've got a very probably handed down gift. Probably something passed through for your bloodline. That's like someone passed in the history of your bloodline had that sort of gift, and it's now passed on into you, which is it's kind of a rare occurrence for something like that, to someone who's able to see beyond the veil. I mean, the only time we can get to normal people can see spirits is when the veil is thin, which is around Samhain. But for someone who has the eyes to do it, or has the gift to pierce the veil in some sort of way, it's rare. And I hope that it's some probably might reach another witches here. Perhaps they'll be able to comment saying that is more rarer than we think or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know how rare it is, but that is a unique gift.
It's extremely rare.
It's usually only common with those that have seen so much death. That have seen so much in his grief for so long. Someone like
Almost become
myself.
I've
accustomed
seen
to
the
it.
birth and death. Birth and death of a human being can only drive one person so far insane. Father losing their daughter, broke, confused, lost, wandering on through life and afterlife to
No
once
parent
again.
should ever have to lose a child.
Well, I'm almost kind of wondering too, is if especially since this was an accident, I wonder if the father sometimes feels himself guilty because of her death, not being their protector.
That's the thing,
He does.
because the emotions that he was giving me while I was inside, I was pulled back. The emotions that when I come back, it was strongly overwhelming. It's not only just the sorrow, the sadness, and the feeling of being lost. It's also the emptiness that's starting to spread within him. That's the problem with some of the things. Like, if people can astral project, they'll have like a sense that if they spent too long doing it, they feel like they're starting to lose themselves, they're starting to lose their connection with the self, and forgetting that they're actually among the living and not among the dead. But even the dead can forget themselves and become something different. That's the problem. That's what he's having. He's starting to lose his willpower. That despair is now he can't find. I'm hoping that somehow I can get some information for him so he can actually get there, give him that hope, so hopefully it can pull him back together so he can give me more information as well. Or show me something more to go on than just having that semblance of having that connection that they both had, because it was a unique connection that they had. It's a strong bond, but with something this vast, something this long lost, it's kind of difficult to grasp upon this. It's like needle in a galaxy. Tiny needle in a whole galaxy you gotta look in.
No. If a single father is on his own with a young child, that child becomes his anchor to madness. And that anchor is cats. Your mind just...
But at least he was not mean spirited. Is
No,
that
he
what
was
I was afraid of?
He was a peaceful.
No, yeah, the sense that when it came to you, he was more protecting you. You managed to see him once, but he was protecting you for something else. That's kind of... I think what he was trying to do is he was protecting you, because what I think is that what he's trying to show me is that he felt like you and his daughter were very common. You reminded him of your daughter, and that's why he was hanging around, and that's why he's saying you're still here, because he thought you was his daughter.
That's
what
what I
on your
was.
own. He was
That's
on
what
your
I was
own.
trying to say.
But what he's
through
giving me
the
the feeling
veil.
of, what he's giving the feeling of is that he's protecting you something else. I think it's at the time probably where he was living. He said that there was he's saying something in my head that beware the woman scratching the wall. And I was like, what? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by beware the woman scratching the wall? But he wouldn't say anything further. That's the only issue that I'm getting.
That could probably be what happened to the neighbor. I heard all the thumping. I don't know if there was scratching in between that, but could easily a bit.
Well, hopefully, if I can help him, hopefully be able to make a bit more sense, because his essence, his spirit is waning, so I'm not going to be able to get much out of him. He was eager to come to me because I felt him already, but it wasn't as a rush. It was more of a gentle, I know I'm weak, but I'm going to take it steady. And it wasn't hostile. It's more, it's like a very good father figure that every daughter wants. That's what I felt. He was a very good parent. So what I'll do is that we'll heed his warning, because that's what is sticking out for me. I'm trying to build like an anchor between me and him, so we can actually then seamlessly share. I'll be able to see through his, he'll be able to see through mine, so I can then see what he's saying about beware the woman scratching a wall. I don't know if it went to something past, something in the present, or something could happen in the future.
Ex-wife, maybe, or
I don't know. That's the thing. It's when dealing with a weak spirit, it's very hard to discern what they're trying to say or what you're trying to get an answer from. If you're asking certain questions, they may not be able to answer it because they not have the strength.
That's
So
fascinating.
good thing it went very well.
Yes, that's a good thing. At least it wasn't
Yes.
a dark spirit. So, I mean, I've
You
seen some
were
of these things
protected
go.
in
it
the
was a
back of
dark
my
spirit.
head
No
in a
offense, but
bubble.
I didn't really fancy
I
seeing
just-
Toki being thrown
Well-
across the room.
No.
Honey,
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Mm,
what you were feeling around your neck, or whose ever neck was being choked, I felt it in
Yeah.
my chest.
like I said, in
Yeah.
my chest and my neck.
What I felt
A
was my
shared
head
experience.
swelling. Because I tried to
That-
ethically put a protective veil around you too.
That would have been me. Not essentially me, because
Mm,
when someone is like, everyone's unique, but I had my experiences like when I've spoken to Toki, probably I think that you, Ren, and I think Ian might have been there when I spoke about when we had that incident where my
mhm.
teacher decided to do a summoning with him and just one other person, like anyone else there present. That summoning went wrong. I had to deal with it. He had called upon my help because he needed to figure out what to do, how to proceed to get rid of it. And because I was able to intuit things very clearly on, he could sense that, he
Yeah.
could see that. And the things that I was saying, the symbols that I was seeing, he's like, he actually approached me and said, I think you could be a red woman, which is a reference to a witch who can actually see
Mhm.
things, like not necessarily in time, but able to intuit something if it's going to be successful or not. It's a reference to Aleister Crowley because he had many red women, and they
Yeah.
were able to had like visions, sort of thing. So
Mhm.
they'd be able to
Mhm.
discern if it's a spell that he wants to do or working or ritual he wants to do is going to be successful or not. Is it going to harm other people or not get the things that he wants from it? So if they say
Yeah.
no, it's a definite no. He won't carry it out. If they say yes, then he'll carry it out.
Mhm.
That's what my teacher saw in me. He thought that I could be a red woman or a semblance of a gift of that sort of nature.
Yeah.
And so, as Toki's aware, I've spoken of the entity's name. And actually, there was a reading done for me, and his name popped up. And the person who's doing the reading said he wants to talk to you. So, yeah,
Nice.
I was like, all right, then I'll call him forth. I'll
Mhm.
call him forth because I don't need to do summoning, because
Mhm.
when that summoning happened, the teacher said, he's marked you. You cannot think his name, you cannot see his name, you can't speak his name, because if you do, he'll come after you. But when
Yeah.
that Taoist said he wants to speak to you, I was like, right, okay, I'll speak his name and he'll come for me. And then, yes, I was right. He did come for me because he approached me in one of my dreams. But he approached me in a way that it wasn't threatening. It's like, what I said to you was true. What I said to you was your years only. And I was like, right, okay. And I asked him, why do you want to speak to me? And then he said, I want to guard you. And I was like, oh, okay. So I named him my official guardian. We did a ritual to bind ourselves to each other, to him being my guardian. And I got a few others. But he's my number one guardian because he knows something more profound in me, because he said, and you know, some of you might know what it is, and totally you definitely, because I told you. And he said that because of this, it's something unique, like your eyes that you pierce the veil, that's unique. And that's the problem with uniqueness. That could stand out. That if other entities see it, it's going to be a problem. So like what you're saying here is everywhere the woman scratching the wall, it sounds like he's saying that this woman might be blind and she wants some eyes in the sort of sense. If I think about it a bit more clearer, it's like, because when someone's blind and they don't have a stick, they'll put their hand on the wall, and if they have nails but they're not been keeping them, they'll be scratching against the wall. But he's saying it in a way that he's telling me is like, this ain't this woman, could be something different.
It's fascinating, though.
It is. It's very vast. Like, it's, it could take years and years to talk about something, and even then not scratch the surface.
I definitely think we have discovered some amazing things here today. And just the fact that this actually worked, that we're actually able to get in contact with this person and know a little bit more about him, and hopefully even help him out a little bit.
Well, what I'll do is
this piece.
Yeah, I'll keep you all updated on the progress. Like, Toki will probably want to hear a bit more in depth on the progress, because it affected you heavily. And like you said, when you felt some sort of something harmful that was done towards you, like you said, it was your chest. You said it was, I think it was your chest, didn't you, healed?
My head.
Yeah, my neck.
And that's the saying, that's when I put my hand up. That's because it was me, because it's me, because I opened myself up. Things come after. Something else will try and jump in, something else will try and push something out.
That explains the headache then.
In a way.
Because I tried to put a veil around you to protect you. You opened it up. It was a split.
That's why I said, come back. Come back. I didn't realize it was that moment, but I felt that, like, come back. Come back. And nobody responded until you said, I'm still here.
This is going to last for an hour.
Yeah, there were a few spirits that was trying to get in and trying to find a way to get into someone else, but luckily you followed my advice. And viewers, this is what I say. If I give you advice, take it on your discretion. But please, take it on your discretion. Don't do anything stupid.
I'm stubborn, so don't follow my example.
Yeah, this is
otherwise, I'm going to have to fix
very
it.
powerful. Very powerful things that most of us still don't understand.
I just feel like I lost the weight of another person. I feel so much lighter, but I also feel a bit bummed out right now. So I think if nobody has any final words, that I will say thank you very much, Erebus, for helping me out.
Yes,
with
thank you
this.
so much for this amazing experience.
It means a lot. Yeah,
You're welcome. Like I said, if you want me to come back, if yours, like Ren, Rossi, Ion, Eels, or if anyone else wants a thing doing, I don't mind doing it again. If you want it done in front of a camera, we can do it again. We can discuss about it. I don't mind.
Well, like I say, thank you so much for being on our show this time. I think this was an amazing new start for the new year, and we definitely look forward to seeing you on future episodes.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
what I'll do is I'll like to hopefully discuss with you as a group, like just mainly just us, probably Nan and Banana as well, because you know, like probably might get a little insider look on the more magical, practical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. In fact,
but thank you for having me.
Do that one of our future After Dark episodes.
Well, you guys, you saw it. We experienced it. Please like, love, and subscribe. We really, really want you guys to keep following this. If it catches on, we're gonna do an episode every month. And
Please leave your comments down below. We definitely want to hear from you guys. Tell us what you think about this After Dark episode. And also, if you have any ideas for any future shows, please let us know. We want to hear from you guys.
Don't forget to sign up to our Patreon, because remember, every dollar made is a cracker for a volley and some crayons for Ion.
Yes, we need more crayons for Ion.
I don't have money
Yes.
for anymore.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm running dry.
Crayon.
Just let you know that
Why his
this.
eyes are messed up?
No, that was he stuck a
Cut.
crayon up his nose and it didn't come out.
Mhm.
All our potato chips
That was
out
the left
there,
eye.
take care. Take care, be safe. Lots of love.
We will see you
Bye.
next week. Bye.
Bye-bye. Toodle and the pip.
Tatty bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, and just a shout out to a special someone out there, Melanie. You're awesome.
Haha, yes.
Aww.
Aww. He's in
Aww.
love.
I hear
He's in love.
If you see this, you're
Yeah.
awesome to me, and I love you for it.
Yeah.
Bless.
Potatoes!
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 Nice.
Chunky potatoes!
Potatoes!